Salam sejahtera, anda sedang menonton Bisnes Awani bersama saya Nawati Adnan. Debaran semakin terasa, siapa bakal merangkul Anugerah Usahawan Tahunan Ernst Young Dunia WEOY 2014 di Monte Carlo. Wartawan Rizal Zulkalpi yang membuat liputan di sana sempat bertemu beberapa individu penting yang terlibat secara langsung dalam WEOY 2014. Dan kita ikuti rakaman temubual Rizal bersama pemenang WEOY Taiwan Charles Hsu yang merupakan pengerusi rangkaian restoran di Taiwan dan mula membuka perniagaan pada usia seawal 23 tahun.
Hai, anda bersama saya Rizal Zulkalpi dan saya bersama dengan Charles Hsu, pengerusi TTFB Restaurant Group, dan beliau adalah EOY untuk Taiwan untuk tahun 2014. Apa yang menarik tentang syarikat yang dibina oleh Charles adalah bagaimana mereka menggunakan kaedah saintifik untuk memastikan bahawa kualiti dan juga standard makanan yang dihidangkan dalam restoran dan juga dalam perniagaannya adalah bertepatan dengan kualiti dan sentiasa konsisten. Dan untuk mengetahui cerita dan juga bagaimana beliau membina syarikatnya, kita bersama dengan Charles Hsu. Hi Charles, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, it's an honor to be here.
Yeah, now I've been telling the viewers how you use scientific methods and how you build the company to become one of the you maintain the consistency of the standard and the taste and the quality of the food. But tell us how you build your company and to what it is today.
Okay, we actually started our first restaurant back in 1990, and we opened. My first restaurant was a Thai restaurant, and we're actually one of the first people that brought in Thai food to the market. So it became a hit instantly. But with Thai food and Chinese food, it's a very complicated culinary art. So like how every chef has their own individual way. So consistency became a real challenge. For example, to produce consistency, you have to have a system to standardize everything. But standardization only happens in like fast food, like hamburger chain. So no one has ever successfully standardized Asian cuisine. So at that time we had to, we decided, 20-something years ago, 24 years ago, we decided to build our own system. I mean, we want to do something brand new no one has ever done before. So basically we spent the last 24 years, we built a very unique system. And with this system, we use scientific methods to ensure to enable us to deliver the consistent taste and quality of Asian food.
Okay, and based on your answer just now, I have a few questions.
Sure.
First of all, you started the company when you were 23, right?
23. Yeah.
23. That's really young. But why? And how did you build that company to where it is today? And I'm sure you went through a lot of challenges, especially when it comes to F&B business. It's very lots of competition. How do you do that?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Back then, I didn't think much back then. But at 23 years old, I thought I was ready, because I have this huge passion for food. But in the beginning, it was very difficult. Like I said, because Asian cuisine, like Chinese food, for example, or Thai food, has always been like a single unit store. Because the traditional cooking method. So in the beginning it was very difficult. We spend, I spent the first 3 years almost in the kitchen, just trying to figure out, learn to understand the art, and trying to figure out a system where we can actually do that now.
And the next question is scientific methods to actually perfect and create standards which are available throughout your 65 restaurants. 65 restaurants. How do you do that? And I'm sure there's lots of research, R&D that goes into it. And how much do you maybe spend for R&D?
Okay. Well, for example, what makes Asian cuisine so complicated, like Chinese food or Thai food. Just take, for instance, I mean, you look at Chinese food. I mean, you go to a restaurant, the menu, there's over 60, 100 dishes, different dishes, and behind these dishes, I think there's over, like for us in our restaurants, we have over 700 different kinds of ingredients, and maybe 100 of those are like agricultural ones, like tomatoes, like chilies and mint leaf, and the first thing we had to do is to standardize everything. Standardize all the vegetable and fruit.
And does that also mean you get them from the same supplier?
Oh yeah, I mean like right now, like for instance. in Thai food, we use a lot of water spinach. I mean, now a year we use over 320 tons of water spinach. But you know, we set very, very strict spec. For example, you know, the length of all the water spinach comes in our restaurant needs to be, the length has to be within 13 to 17 centimeter long.
Oh, wow.
And the width has to be 0.4 to 0.7 centimeter. I mean, that's the only way to ensure the best quality. And you know, this is one of the maybe hundreds and hundreds of the specs we set on these. Yeah.
And is there a guideline or a thick book where your employees have to go through before they can actually work for you?
Okay, we set a lot of standards, and I must say we are a very precise, I would say like detail-driven company, because in order for you to produce a consistent quality and service, I mean everything has to have a very strict standard. You know?
And what about retaining people? Because in the food and in the F&B industry, retaining people can be, or retaining talents, talents can be quite difficult.
Yes.
How do you retain the best people and ensure that they grow to be even better?
Yeah, I think we do two things that are very important. In the people development area, I think we set a very clear goal and a very clear career path for them. So, for example, you know, we have our own chefs academy, and you know, we have a culinary academy where we train our own chefs. So, and behind this, we have a sort of 11 badge system. You know, so all the chefs, new chefs, they come in, they start out with a white badge, and they work with their way
up. So it's like martial arts, right?
Exactly. And this was actually inspired from my days in Taekwondo. And you know, the best thing about this system is that, you know, everyone comes in and we tell them where you're going to be in 3 years from now, and we tell them exactly what you have to do to get there.
And what does it take to be an entrepreneur in Taiwan, especially in the F&B business? You started off very young. I'm sure you can share with some of our viewers out there what it takes to be an entrepreneur. You know, in any business, in a very competitive market, when you start off at a very young age, because I think people dream to be driving the sports car 2 years or a year after they become after they set up their own business. Is that realistic, or what's your advice to them?
Okay, well, I think I'm very fortunate because, you know, at 23 years old, I found my passion, and I'm even more fortunate that, you know, throughout the years I've stayed focused on doing just one thing, and I think that's the best advice I think anyone can have. Just find your passion and just stay with your passion.
Okay, and then lastly, doing business in mainland China.
Oh yes.
I'm sure it's very tough in terms of the competition, in terms of the size of the market. And how do you go about doing that? Because I'm sure a lot of entrepreneurs out there will want to go into the mainland China market. How do you do that, and what's your advice for entrepreneurs out there?
Okay, well, for us, I mean, it's I think China is a great market. It's a huge market. There's a lot of opportunities, and our first stop to China is actually starting from Shanghai. You know, Shanghai is it's really, in terms of restaurant, I mean, you have players all around the world going there now. So definitely, yes, the competition is high. But you know, for us, it's good because, you know, we speak the similar language. And there are some cultural differences, but I think you know, I think it's probably the same anywhere in the world. Is how to recruit the best talent and how to keep the best talent. I think it's very most important.
Thank you very much, Charles, for being with us today. Today, Charles Hsu, pengerusi TTFB Company dan juga pengerusi TTFB Restaurant Group, membincangkan tentang keusahawanan dan juga keusahawanan dalam bidang makanan dan juga minuman. Dan beliau adalah antara usahawan yang menitik beratkan kualiti dan juga standard dalam pengurusan syarikat dan juga restoran. Dan seperti yang dikatakan oleh Charles tadi, kangkung pun ada saiznya untuk memastikan bahawa standard dan juga kualiti dapat dijamin di kesemua 65 restaurants, right?
Now, and we're going to reach 100 restaurants by end of this year. Yeah,
Good luck.
2014. Yep.
65 restoran ketika ini dan juga 100 restoran dijangka pada hujung tahun ini, dan beliau adalah EOY daripada Taiwan untuk tahun 2014. Saya Rizal Zulkalpi bersama dengan juru kamera Hairul Wildan melaporkan untuk Astro Awani, Monte Carlo.